there's been a lot of discussion about what happened down in Charlottesville, and well, these snowflakes. It's the snowflakes that are down there that are flying, and I'm not talking like real like stuff that falls from the sky. These people who were down there to show how hateful they are. They're getting fired from jobs because they decided to do a horrible thing and rally around their hate. And I'm a little mixed on this. I mean, people should be able to have their opinions, but companies also have the right to say, hey, you represent something that our company doesn't want to represent. And if you are a public figure or a face in our company, we don't want you here. So we're letting you go. Comments, anybody?
Well, the fact is that one of the stories, not about a company, about a young man from Fargo, South Dakota, for
Yeah.
North South Dakota. Anyway, his family has, I guess they've been struggling for a long time, and he was coming out with all this hatred, all this white supremacist speech, and they said, yeah, guess what? He doesn't speak for us. They've actually disavowed their own son, and even down everybody from, you know, their mother and father and cousins and everybody to the grandmother, you know, they're saying, yeah, if you want to change, we'll be happy to kill the fatted calf and have you come home. It was a really well crafted letter. I was very conflicted about it because I thought, wow, that's a lot, because I can't imagine why I would turn away my own kids. But you know, this kid, he actually said some really nasty things, and he did some nasty things, and I go, yeah, no, the fact that he talks about burning people in ovens. And as far as people with their jobs, yeah, you're exactly right. You know, they don't own the company. The company has a face, and there's a certain amount of goodwill that you have to garner as a company. So guess what?
The guy's last name is
Pete,
Pierce.
it's Pete Teft.
Pete Teft?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
The thing with his father, just disavowing them.
Yeah.
That's kind of, you know, that's. I don't know if he's worried about himself. He wants to distance himself from this nasty kid, or if he is trying to alleviate his guilt from being a poor parent for raising a kid who would be such a nasty person.
Some of that is in there. I will say some of that might be in there, but there are instances, I think, where in some situations.
Oh, there always is.
Yeah.
I mean, to disavow your own child,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but there's whack jobs who will stand by their kids even when they're murderers. But there's a difference between standing by your kid and disavowing them. Yeah, it's say, this is my son. He's a screw up. You know, we love him because he's my son. You know, I say put him in prison, but he's still my son. But to say no, he's no longer my son. He's no longer associated with me. That's wrong.
Actually, I can understand that because other people have to make a living. It's like the guilt by association. While that is a fallacy, there are people out there who don't give a shit, and they'll say, well, your kid is so-and-so, and they were seen down at this hate group.
Yeah.
And so if they figure, well, if the son is like that, the father might be like that, or the parents might be like that, and we don't want you to be we don't want you associating with us as well. So these people, while they're going down there, think they're just on their own. They are actually hurting everybody else that's around them as well.
Yes, very much so.
So I think a big part of that is that he may be trying to insulate himself away from that. So he's like, hey, I disavow what he's doing because that's not me. That's not me.
But is he saying just what he's doing, or him completely?
Basically, I think it's just what he says here. On Friday night, my son traveled to Charlottesville, Virginia, and was interviewed by a national news outlet while marching with a reported white nationalist who allegedly went on to kill a person. I, along with all his siblings and the entire family, wish to loudly repudiate my son's vile, hateful, racist rhetoric and actions. We do not know specifically where he learned these beliefs. He did not learn them at home. I have shared my home and hearth with my friends and acquaintances of every race, gender, and creed. I have taught all my children that all men and women are created equal, that they must love each other at all the times. Evidently, Peter has chosen to unlearn these lessons, much to my and his family's heartbreak and distress. We have been silent up to now, but now we see that this was a mistake. It was the silence of good people that allowed the Nazis to flourish for the first time around, and it was the silence of good people that is allowing them to flourish now. He says, Peter Teft, my son, is not welcome at our family gatherings any longer. I pray my prodigal son will renounce his hateful beliefs and return home, and then and only then will I lay out the feast. Well, then he goes on, there's more here. But the point is, and that's kind of the point I was making, is that it doesn't matter if you have a good home life or whatever. Sometimes people get mixed up with weird people and they come up with get really bizarre ideas.
Yes.
Yeah, well, sometimes things like higher education, college, wherever this young man is, you know,
Get in
they
at the
move
right
out
time.
and they move out and they explore new ideas. It doesn't always mean they're positive, and sometimes children are reactionary. And so if you come from a very inclusive and racially, you know, we believe everybody's okay idea, and they fall in with other people, you know, what we really, okay, here's the germ of an idea. What we really need to do is to embrace critical thinking and discussion with our kids, especially as they grow older, because there are times when they move out, and sometimes they just used to be you get a tattoo or you do you know you do something crazy. I don't know. I just I have to say I really like the way the father wrote
I,
the letter.
I did, except for the last part.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I still can't agree with saying he's no longer
No.
welcome in my home.
No, me either. No, me either. I can't imagine. Okay, I'm one of those people that if one of my kids murdered people, you know what? I don't have to like what they did, but my heart is still would.
I mean, to me, it's still similar to saying, "Oh, you're gay, so until you stop being gay, you're not allowed in my house." Or you're an atheist until you start believing. I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
To say your child is no longer allowed in your home,
Mhm.
no longer welcome in your home, that is, I
think what he's trying to do there,
distance himself.
yeah, he besides distance himself, I think what he's trying to do there is he's like say, hey, you're not going to get support from us. You're not welcome in the family. We don't want you around us. So you either have to shape up or you're going to have to before we're going to let you back into this family. I think that's what he was trying to do. He's trying to say, like, hey, this is a consequence of what you're doing. It's kind of like some people say tough love type thing. And I think, honestly, I'm a little torn on this. I mean, part of me is like, yeah, I can see that. I can actually see that. I mean, if someone their ideology is so screwed up like that, then
Well,
like I said, I agreed with everything he had to say until the last part.
right.
If he had said everything is like we cannot accept his behavior, but to go as far to say he's no longer welcome as part of his family, I'm sorry, I just think that's a step too far.
But it's his thinking. It's his thinking that is flawed, and it's not his gender. It's not something he can't change. It is something that can change, and obviously
Yes.
did, and that's the salient point. And you know, actually, Matt has something to say. He's chatting here. Because the comparison to something about gender is where we can't.
Yeah.
Connie's got it right. The person who is very hateful like that, they can change their opinion. You can't change who you are if you're gay or straight. That's just not a thing. So I think that's a false dichotomy.
That was a bad comparison. I was just
so
making a comparison.
Well, no, let me put this in the perspective here. Okay, it's not the kid's fault. Now, if somebody is denounced or disowned for being gay, it's not their fault for being gay, but they're being disowned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Now, as far as this kid
I'm
was
just
disowned for his, for what he did in Virginia. Okay, I can kind of understand that. But when a child is, or when a kid is being disowned for being gay and it's not their fault, I mean,
Well, the point I was trying to make was, I think that there is no circumstance ever that a parent should disown their child.
Mm-hmm.
You can what's the word? You can even vilify them.
No,
but I just don't disown them.
Right. I think we all feel it. Oh, sorry, Atheist Ranger, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying this whole situation just reaffirms why I don't want kids in the first place.
Join the club. Unfortunately, Harry.
I ain't got
but you know what? Not everybody's racist either.
That's okay, Ranger. I've already introduced myself and a few other people. So.